Okay, so next update video, Garrison Speed Shop here. It's Randy with our Trans Am, 2002 Trans Am Firebird LS Fest build that we're putting together while we're waiting on this RT to get going. So, this thing's coming together. We got a lot of little stuff done, mostly beautification stuff. Got the LED front side markers. I have the rear ones as well. Got the hood painted, kind of a flat black. Not really flat, more of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Not matte, but satin, like a satin black. Sorry, had a brain fart there. So now we're just working on getting this thing semi-straight and the all same color black. So rear panel, as you can see, it's got some dings in it there that we're going to try to do what we can with some mud to get that as straight as we can. Not going to spend too much time on it, but get that as straight as we can, and then basically try to do this rear quarter panel, roof, and rear bumper kind of all in one swipe. Rear bumper's not terrible, but it does have some clear coat coming off, a couple scratches. All right, so quick intermission here. Back the car into the shade at least, got the fan on me. I did want to do a quick update because the more I thought about this, as some of you guys may have been watching saying, like, why not just go ahead and do the whole car, the pieces that you have left. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do in this video. So it's going to be front bumper, front fender, door, rear quarter, top, bumper, rear quarter, body work, door, front fender, and the front bumper. More I think about it, let's just get it knocked out and be done with it. But I did want to give you guys a quick rundown video of what she was looking at now. That way you guys can have a better representation of, you know, what my janky rattle can job has improved once it's done. Some really deep scratches right there. I'm not sure what happened with that. There's a few of those, but yeah, man, we're just going to go ahead and get it all done, bring all that to you guys in this video. So next few cuts, you're probably going to see a lot of prep work, and we'll get with it. All right, guys, so I only have one battery for my DeWalt sander, and getting tired of having to charge it up and sand until it dies. We got some prep work done on the other side of the car. This is the side of the car that had the big body damage here. Knocked some of it out the best I could, but it's still, the deepest spots are here and here. But took the death wheel, you know, lost 50% of the 20% of hearing that I had left, but got that all down to metal. We're gonna attempt throw some Bondo on there and honestly just make it better than it was, right? There's not much I can screw up here to make it worse. At the end of the day, as long as it's semi-flat and doesn't have a giant dent in it, then I'm pretty good with that. So I'm gonna mix up some Bondo here. You know, got the hardener. I did this probably 100 times, maybe more, maybe 200 times. I have never got this consistency right. I use less and less hardener every time I do this, and it always seems like I have too much hardener. It always dries too fast before I can get it worked. So we're gonna attempt this one more time. So give me a second. I'm gonna get everything set up here, get me some Bondo out on some cardboard, and we'll get this thing mudded up. All right, so we're getting ready to mix up our first batch. Got a pretty good bit there, about half of that small can. Just gonna try making one line across. Mix this up. At least this isn't like there's gonna be a whole lot of Bondo put in before we get to any type of really trying to smooth it out. So maybe that'll help being quicker with the application here. Maybe that's not enough, but not enough hardener, but that would be the first time in my entire life that that's ever happened. So generally always too much. I'm not crazy about the fact. Actually, I didn't barely even change the color, so I'll put a little bit more in there. This is probably where I screwed up. This is probably where, you know, this is where the disaster happens. So I don't like this blue hardener either Bondo's coming out with now. It's hard to tell the color change. Doesn't really change the color at all like the red does. All right, so work this big dent here. Oh man, this is gonna take a lot. It's a lot of mud. All right. Trying to use it all up. So, I don't know. Oh God. It's a pretty significant dent here, guys. I have to kind of build this on top of itself as we go up. A lot of sanding. Yeah, as you can see, I'm already hardening up, so basically is where it is at this point. Yeah, it's tough with that blue hardener with it not changing colors. Not that I've ever been good at trying to get it right in the first place, but it makes it even harder. All right, so made some significant improvement there. I do think we're probably going to be short of Bondo because this is not a very, it's not a very big can. Get some more knocked out here. That down. Going through some Bondo here. Start making some body lines here. Get that hole filled in there. Oh God, it's got Bondo all over me. it's starting to look flattish. I don't know. I think if you take into account what it looked like before. I'm making excuses for myself. This is pretty bad, but it'll be better when we're done. It's pretty blue. I'll do this pretty quick. All right. Saw the Bondo. I don't know. It looks more better. It's getting there. Gonna need some more Bondo, but I don't know how much you guys can tell about that from the screen, but the ginormous hole, it's not so ginormous anymore. It's actually pretty close. A few little ding, it's like more of a ding here. Got more of a low spot there, but yeah, I think one more of those small cans will probably get us what we need to do here. All right, guys, I wanted to clip this in midway here. It's been a few days, probably been about a week since the last cut there. But man, I'm out here sweating it out, trying to get this done for you guys where I can get this thing painted up and we can get into some of the real fun stuff. I hate body work. Any respectable hot rodder, in my opinion, hates body work. And this is a hack job of body work, right? Please do not look at this video as a tutorial for how to do a professional paint job on your car. Because it's not going to be that. It's going to be, you know, rattle can, just trying to get this thing all the same shade of crappy black. All right. What I have learned in, you know, 20 plus years of hack job and body work is it's all in the body work. You know, you can, I would consider myself an okay painter, but it really doesn't matter if you don't prep it. So I am trying to at least semi-prep this and at least do the main thought process here, which was to get it halfway straight. This thing had, so it had a crack right here, fiberglass that, mudded that, so that is at least better. This thing had some, I don't know if it got keyed, if somebody pissed their girlfriend off in this thing or not, but this thing has some deep scratches down through here. Some of it I had to take down all the way to metal to get the scratch out. We kind of faded that in. Got the top bar done there. For the most part, got the back glass taped up. Got everything up here taped up. A lot of deep scratches here, chip paint. I mean, this thing was really beat up. Little spot here, a couple of little spots here that I mudded some dings. Deep scratches up here that I got out. Still got to sand the front bumper. I've already painted the hood, but you know, if it gets a little overspray on it, I'm not too worried about it. Got to finish sanding the front bumper here because the clear coat's basically gone on that. And this side, this is probably the most perfect body panel that it had. It's pretty much perfect paint here, and one other panel over there, but we're going to end up, you can tell the mismatch there. Even with this gloss, it's kind of coming out kind of satin because I'm not clearing it, and I really haven't buffed it yet, but just trying to get the same texture all the way down. So we're just going to barely scuff that up with some light grit with the DA. And then this is where I showed you guys on the last clip. to where we mudded this giant dent, knocked everything out that we could. And this is really the purpose of painting the car, was to get this giant dent out and these dings that are on this side. That's going to be the major difference maker in this whole thing. But I used Bondo, and then it cured, and then I went over it with U-Pol, UPOL, glazing. It's not glazing compound, but it's the same consistency of it. But it was really easy to work with. And I've had it before where I put it on, it took a few days to dry, but this was so thick when I put it on. I mean, that's been over a week, and it's dry. I mean, it's dry, but if you were to put a whole lot of pressure on it right now, it would push in. I looked up some stuff online, some videos, and talked to some body guys, and they're like, yeah, if you put it on thick, it's going to be like 2 weeks before that's completely cured. So we're going to be kind of at a standstill on that, sanding that smooth to paint it. But in the meantime, I'm going to get all of the rest of everything around it done. And then probably going to go ahead and spray this side over here in the back and the front. And then we can fade the other side in. But yeah, just want to give you guys a quick update. We'll cut back when I've got a little further. I'm losing daylight here. Hey, used to be a giant dent there. I got to sand that smooth. Get all this taped off. Scuffed up, ready for paint. Got all the deep scratches out here. Bondoed a couple dings. Everything all scuffed up. I already painted the hood. Got to sand that front bumper. Scuff up this front fender. Rest of this door. Shoot some black to this thing, boys. Everything taped off, ready for paint on this side. That all bondoed. Still got to sand that down. Waiting on that to completely dry. But already did the top rail, spoiler, and this side already been done. Fits the crack down there. Not perfect, but way better. Gotta spray the hood again. So we got the entire car painted, except for over on the other side of the car, that rear quarter panel that had the Bondo work that I had to do. We'll go over that in a minute, but I wanted to bring you guys in here now that I have the car painted and kind of unmask everything. I'll grab you guys here. So this is kind of the final result on this side. Turned out really well, except for one spot where I put some mud on I don't know how I left this uneven, but that spot there, I'm gonna have to tape off a square and sand that and get that better and repaint that little spot there. But it hasn't been at all. I haven't buffed it at all yet. I haven't wet sanded anything. I don't know how much I'm going to wet sand it, but I'm planning to at least put some cutting compound on it and really try to buff it out some. But man, in comparison to what it looked like before, incredible. It's not super glossy, but like I said, I haven't cut it. I haven't polished it. I haven't did anything yet. The windshield is a disaster with dust and everything from sanding it, but at least I did have it taped off, so it shouldn't have any overspray on it. But yeah, I told you guys I was going to tell you the thing that's holding me up now. So this is this U-Pol stuff that I put on there to try to smooth it the best I could, a little better than the Bondo, and I've been waiting to sand that. And I already knew that it takes a while to, it takes a pretty good while to dry, but mother of God, it's been like almost 2 weeks now. And when I looked it up, because it had been like a week and it was still pretty mushy, and it's not allowing me to sand it and finish this last little quarter panel here. But I looked some stuff up and they're like, oh yeah, if you did it thick, it's probably going to be up to 15 days. So we're a few days away from that now. I kind of felt of it earlier. Like I said, it was applied pretty thick. So I think I'm probably still a couple days away from being able to sand that. But yeah, that's the main thing we're waiting on there. Backside's done. This whole top rail, if you guys remember from the beginning of the video, was like all the clear coat was gone on that. It looked terrible. Same with the spoiler. This isn't scratches. This is just something that got on it, and I'm kind of afraid to spray anything on it to get that dust off of there right now because the paint's not completely cured probably. Still gonna untape the rear tag. Leaving this portion taped up at the tail light, like I said, because I still am going to have to paint this right here. I don't want to have to retape it, but man, overall, pretty happy with it. One thing we're going to do today too on the video, we're going to cut to is we're going to put the new LED side markers on the front and the rear. It's already got new LEDs on the front, but they kind of came in like a smoke black. And then I ordered rears that I thought were smoke black, but they sent more of like a silver LED color. But it's fine because I only ordered the rears, but they sent me the rears and the fronts in the silver color. So I'm just going to put those all the way around. That way it matches. But all right, so we'll make that cut and we'll go to installing these LEDs. So here was the original black LEDs that I thought I was ordering a whole set of. Had those on, took those off, and now it's this the silver color LED. I have them front and back now, so matching. And if you're going to install these, it just has a little tab. It slips into here, and you need a T15 hex bit. Take that screw out, you pull it out, and your LED just plugs right in where your bulb was before. I'm going to show you guys one other thing here. So this car was missing the ground effects. I'm sure you guys saw that before down at the bottom. The problem with that was it wouldn't even look like it was missing anything, except for it had, you know, the holes ever about 6 inches down to where the trim hooked into. So what I did was I ordered some 1-inch molding, went down that, and then I had a break here, and then went down that because it didn't look right what I just did under the door. But I think it turned out pretty dang good. I'll show you guys what I used here. Because those under just 1-inch molding, 3M tape on the back. Because when I looked online, I thought, well, maybe I'll buy the ground effects. That looks pretty bad. But when I looked online, the ground effects were like, I mean, $200 from like no name sailors on eBay, to where stuff's probably not going to fit. And then if you wanted to get the right stuff, you're talking like $300 or $400. And I just was not spending $300 or $400 on anything aesthetic to this car, especially after I just put a $100 paint job on it. But I got those on there, and that made that look a lot better. All right, guys, so here she is. Like I said, the only part on the car that's been buffed at all, and that's not even with like cutting compound, that's just like polish. Polished a little bit on the hood. There's some water spots on the car because I just washed it off. It had Bondo dust all over it. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have did this in the order that I did it in. But it's kind of typical for me doing body work on these cars. I get excited. I want to paint. I like painting. I love painting. I hate body work. So I did the little bit of body work that it needed on this side and did the paint on it. And immediately kind of jumped into painting all of the car except for the rear quarter on the other side where I had to do all the body work. As you can see, some of it is a lot shinier than the other. I think some of it still got some like Bondo dust fragment on it. And some of this could be that I was painting certain panels in different times, and maybe I got a little bit of overspray, but all that'll buff out. All that'll buff out super smooth with just some polish. But man, I am super proud of this. I am in no way a body guy. I have no interest in doing it for anybody else. I love you guys, but I'm not doing any of your body work. Need help working on something on your engine, maybe, but not body work. Give you guys a quick walk around. But yeah, like I said, I buffed a little bit on the hood, not a ton. Get my zoomed out a little bit. Like I said, we just washed it off, so there's little water marks and stuff on it. You can see right here where water dried. That's just where water dried. It's not any scuffs or anything. More spots here where water's drying on it. Yeah, man, I'm incredibly impressed with it for, I mean, a Rust-Oleum rattle can, I mean, paint and filler and all, probably $100. I can't argue with it. I can't argue with it at all. But you see, this is a little shinier. It looks like it's been buffed, but it hasn't. That's just because that was painted early this morning, really early this morning. Then I brought it out here and let it sun cook because that Rust-Oleum, it cures really fast enough that it can get wet. I mean, I didn't put any pressure on it washing it or anything. I just kind of sprayed it off. But this is what kind of everything will look like after I buff it. This part in the hood will kind of be representative of the whole car. Lowered it 2 inches while I've been messing around with this. That video and the how-to for that is on the channel. I did a lot of other stuff to it while I've been doing this. It's been like over 2 weeks of trying to do. I did the LED marker lights front and back. Those look really awesome on it. As you can see, there's no more big dent. There are, look, is it perfect? No, it's absolutely not perfect. In the bright sunlight, if you got right up on it, it definitely does have a couple of waves right here. But that was a ginormous dent in there, guys. I mean, ginormous dent, like fist deep all the way down, and it curved around. But you can kind of see the waves there. But I mean, like I said, I'm not a body guy, and I was never going to get that exactly perfect because as you can see this accent on here, it's actually supposed to bow out there as well, but all that was caved in, so it doesn't have that accent, that little small accent there. Obviously was not going to be able to recreate that. You can see it here. It's not much, just like it has just a little ridge that goes about that far. Like I said, did some other stuff. It's missing the side skirts on it. Like I said before, there's a video on that. I think I entered that in this video too. I did the molding on there. That turned out really sharp. It literally looks completely natural. Made a huge discovery this week. Was coming out here to look at the RPO codes to see if this had the positive traction, which is, and the performance 323 rear gears. So G80 and GU5 positive traction performance rear gears. And I was looking at that and I just like glanced over and was like, oh my God, this is a WS6. So that was cool. I kind of already suspected that it might be because one of you guys, actually a subscriber to the channel, was like, yo, what's going on with that car, brother? It's got a Formula hood and a Formula bumper, but it looks like a WS6. I was like, no, it's just a regular Trans Am. So I kind of got talked into looking into it. And so shout out to that guy. You know, if you're watching again, comment below. I'd like to talk to you again. That was, dude, shout out to you, dude, because I would have never figured that out without you. That's why I like interacting with you guys. I'm not pretending to be the smartest guy out there and the best car builder out there, #1 hot rodder out there, any of that stuff, you know. I just want a channel where car guys can come and see, you know, builds that aren't like into phenomenon, you know, something that they can think of and be like, yeah, I could build that, you know, I could afford to do that. You know, if I save my money, I could do that type of stuff. That's what I want to do on this channel. My SRT is probably going to be a little bit out there, you know what I'm saying? Like I probably got, I mean, by the time I get it back in a couple of months, I'm going to have like Hellcat money in it, but that's kind of channel car A. And for now, this is kind of channel car B. But yeah, man, I am super happy with how it turned out. I mean, got the rear lowered. There's a video on how to do that. There's a video on how to do the lights. Anything I do on this car, any of my other cars, kind of my format is I want to do a quick how-to and post that on the channel if you guys are trying to do that type of stuff. And then once I've kind of compiled a bunch of stuff on one of the builds, you know, I'll do an update video for you guys. But next up, we got to open this thing up and clean the interior out tomorrow because, man, like, you guys should have seen this thing before I cleaned it off. There was Bondo dust everywhere. But I got all that cleaned up. So I got to clean the interior. I got to put the E3 plugs in it. I've already put all the wires on. Not looking forward to doing plug number 8 back there. It's just really hard to get to on these LS1s, but got to get the new plugs in it. Got the new thermostat in, 160. Pretty much got everything pretty straight other than, yeah, plugs. Probably do another oil change before we go. I'm going to do a transmission flush before we go to LS Fest. And I want to definitely at least check the rear diff fluid. If not, go ahead and change it because it's probably never been done. But yeah, the WS6 thing, I was looking for a WS6 hood because even before I thought this was a WS6, because like, man, I want a WS6 hood. And I was looking online and on Marketplace, where I spent a lot of time, and saw one real cheap that I actually probably am going to buy for this car. And was talking to the guy, and he's like, yeah, I had it for my old car that I had. So yeah, I was kind of nosy, so I jumped on his actual profile and looked, and sure enough, like go back through his timeline, and there's pictures of this car. I kind of suspected it was this car anyway because some things he said about the work he had done to the car matched up with what's been done to my car. The city he lives in is a really small town near here, which is where the guy I bought it from said that, you know, the other guy lived. So I was like, man, I looked back through it, and he had like pretty much ran into a ditch and messed up the front bumper and messed up the hood, which I'm assuming is at the same time where this kind of offset on the gap here happened, which I gotta address eventually. And that's probably why the headlights don't open, because I opened it up and it looked like the vacuum or the lines on the headlights is unhooked, and I'm thinking that he kind of probably just threw it back together, sold the car, and didn't hook it all back up. So I gotta get that hooked up for the headlights. But I mean, I've drove it at night with just these LED fog lights. These are incredibly bright. I mean, they're as bright as the headlights on my Silverado for sure. I mean, I drove it all the way from Louisiana one night back here, no problem. But yeah, that's I'm excited to get this video out to you guys. This has been a lot of work, a lot of work. We got some stuff coming up on the Bel Air, my 67 Bel Air. You know, it's beautiful, new paint, new tires, new rims. But I gotta get on the interior. I have a rear seat for it out of my parts car. I just got to put it in. It's in pretty good shape. And it's got the ram horn manifolds on it. I got to get the driver's side one on and then go get a full exhaust ran on this because it was kind of just rusted out. I'm pretty sure it was like the exhaust was like from the 60s, but another pretty sharp car on the channel. Sentimental. This is my father-in-law's car, my in-laws. They got married in this car. My father-in-law kind of taught me everything about cars. I owe him a lot about any of the knowledge I have about cars. So it's sentimental to me. It's probably honestly more sentimental to me than it is to my wife. But yeah, that car's not going anywhere. Corvette's coming back soon. I thought it was going to be ready last weekend. Went to Alabama to get it. My buddy's not done with it yet. So in the next week or so, I should be getting the Corvette back. And I got a big surprise for you guys on the channel, especially you LS Swap guys. We got something coming to the channel that I think it's going to catch a lot of attention and pique a lot of interest. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, subscribe to the channel, Veteran Owned channel. I'm a like-minded hot rodder just like you. I'm going to put out a ton of content, going to all the big shows, show you what that's all about, and try to convince you to get out there and do the same with you and your kids. But anyway, guys, if you haven't subscribed, do that now. Appreciate it. God bless. Randy, Garrison Speed, out.